Effects of mediated communication. So we use communication in order to connect with others and facilitate positive relationships. This may include family, workplace, or relationships with a significant other. Strong communication helps people understand one another's needs, resolve conflict, and build trust, making it one of the most essential skills in everyday life. Social media has changed the way we interact and communicate with others, and this changes through mediated communication. When it involves interaction between individuals that does not occur in person. Apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms have transformed how we express emotion, maintain our relationships, and interpret meaning. The advance of mediated communication. The reach of mediated communication has increasingly developed over time. Tools such as the internet and smartphones have greatly accelerated the impact of sharing information. An increasing percentage of 68% of adults admitted to the use of Facebook, and 47% were found to use Instagram by Pew Research Center. Positive influences of mediated communication include the ability to maintain long-distance relationships. In many workplaces, remote communication has become the normal, with entire teams functioning effectively despite never meeting in person. There are downsides to online communication in that it alters the way we emotionally connect with others and oftentimes can be lost in translation. Without tone, facial expressions, or body language, messages may be misinterpreted, leading to conflict or confusion. Even the convenience of digital communication can sometimes reduce the motivation to have deeper in-person conversations. Social media and relationships. Social media plays an extremely complex role in relationships. It can help people maintain connection, express affection publicly, or feel a part of each other's daily lives. But it can also foster tension, jealousy, or even unrealistic expectations. Social comparison is another side effect of media in relationships, and it allows this curation of a perfectly idealized version of people's lives or relationships that don't convey their actual reality. And that can also lead to or allow instances of infidelity in romantic relationships or affect friendships through things like exclusion. On a positive note, it is a good tool for friends and families to stay in touch through the sharing of photos or updates. So, texting and misinterpretation. Texting creates a convenience for quick responses that allows for constant connection, although, like the other social platforms, it can also create a lack of emotional expression and intimacy. Superficial communication can be adapted to replace deep, meaningful conversations within relationships that create a better connection. Tone and emotion are other components of communication that are open to misinterpretation without the aid of vocal cues or body language. Things like the utilization of punctuation and emojis have evolved to facilitate the understanding behind text messages, but they can't always convey the true depth of meaning. Other issues include the expectation of constant availability, because people often feel pressured to reply immediately, which creates this anxiety and conflict. Being constantly available enhances this relational dependence and is said to be one of the most disliked qualities of cell phone usage. And it creates a source of tension that can lead to hypercoordination and feelings of imprisonment or entrapment. Digital communication and emotional well-being. Digital communication offers connections, but it can also affect mental health and emotional regulation. Smartphones' frequent notifications from messages and social media updates keep our brains in a state of constant alertness. For relationships, this often manifests as digital fatigue coming from a source of too many online connections. And this form of communication has been known to replace real-life interaction and can increase feelings of isolation or loneliness. But on a positive note, it can provide emotional support for people who struggle with social interaction due to anxiety or those that live in isolated areas. Digital spaces also foster communities of shared identity, helping people feel better understood or less alone. Connection and disconnection. Having a life online requires finding an appropriate balance between online interaction and face-to-face interaction. Mediated communication has the ability to enrich these relationships, but it can also be harmful when it replaces genuine interaction. It's important to set digital boundaries with daily life and relationships. And it's also important that digital users be mindful to different tones and recognize when a conversation may need to be held face to face or on something like a video call. Overall, it is important that we remember to utilize technology to serve our connection rather than to harm it. In conclusion, mediated communication through apps like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, FaceTime, and other platforms has redefined the way that we communicate with others. It offers a continuous access to others and enables people to maintain bonds across time and space. But it can also introduce stress, involve miscommunication, and create emotional distance. The effects social media and texting have on relationships relies solely on the way that they are used. They can either build intimacy or create misunderstandings or connect people or isolate them. If we're mindful and understanding, we can preserve authenticity within our relationships in an increasingly mediated environment.